All right, let me come up in here and see what happens. I'm trying to make a complaint. Hopefully they'll take this complaint without giving me any bullshit. Here to sign my son out, Joshua.
And the last name?
Canet.
How do you spell it?
C-A-N-E-T.
And your name?
Jose Canet. His father.
That is right. I can't read those. They're too little. No, don't take it out.
No, I want to take it out.
Oh, no, I
No,
Sure,
I want to take it out.
Sure, I got my son, right?
Right, exactly.
I
I
know.
don't want nobody else trying to pick my son up.
Oh, no, we may seem a little relaxed, but we're not. We want you to know
He
that.
said, y'all will help me now.
Yeah, we don't want to see me on the news.
Right.
Joshua Connect,
Yes.
7th grade.
Yes, 7th grade.
Excuse me. Joshua Connect to the front to sign out, please. Thank you. Be right here.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't want to be working at. Which I love Walmart. Don't get me wrong.
I love your shirt.
Don't want to work
Thanks.
there.
I love that t-shirt.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, Miss Patty, I got her.
Okay, thank you. But I think that, I know that the police just run it through the thing. They don't have to look at them because they never could see that at night in the dark.
Yeah.
They just put them through.
Just put them through their little system.
Yeah.
We refuse to show it. This one, like, I got a
Oh,
problem.
Right.
Yes. Yes, go ahead. Oh dear, okay, thanks. We have, yeah, we're only supposed to take four. It's a okay guideline, but, yes, go ahead. Okay, got him. But, excuse me? Diana to room 2114, please. Discovery Academy. Excuse me, do you have Carl Street? Room 2114, please. Excuse me, do you have Kevin? To room 2114. That's our speech students that go on Discovery Academy. They should be. They have not given me an early bus today. Okay. But we're not only supposed to accept Florida drivers. That's a Polk County school guideline. But we have so many students that parents are from other areas. They do not have a Florida driver's license yet, but they do issue them a Florida ID. They can go and get a Florida ID with their name and Florida address.
I was in Tennessee, I had 60 days to get my license changed. Change over, or else.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a guideline, 60 days,
And a new car tag.
new car tag. And I hide and
And
hid,
that's
I'm
how-
like, I don't know what I'm doing. But it was 60 days.
And how, I mean.
That's when I get my address.
Chickens are returned out.
Is this her?
Yes.
Oh, good. Sign her out. Who's that? Oh, yeah. But we have, you'll see the Department of Transportation drive through a parking lot to look for our tags that are expired.
What's up?
You ready?
Where's your? No, I want to talk to your counselor.
250.
To your counselor.
You mean?
Yeah.
The one?
To your counselor.
Miss Barnes?
Miss.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
who's your counselor? Who's the?
Our counselor of 7th grade.
Yeah, for 7th grade.
Miss
Miss
Del
Del Valle.
You need to see Miss Del Valle.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
She's involved in testing. What is it in reference to? Can I get someone else?
Who was it that called on the phone?
Miss Del Valle.
Mr. Whitehead. You can get him. I'll talk to him.
Student's name?
No, I don't like it either.
Student's name?
I just don't like how they treat people.
What is your
You know,
name? Student name?
don't like
Oh,
it.
mine?
Joshua?
Tell him his dad's here. He's not gonna like it.
Office to Mr.
I need
Whitehead?
somebody's with me.
Hmm?
I need somebody's with me. I don't like it either. I hate how they treat people. I hate it. So annoying.
So explain to me what happened this morning.
At the coach.
So because you beat a kid on basketball, he
Yeah.
got mad and pushed you, and then
And
there,
started talking shop.
No.
and then what?
And then he had done it like at the courtyard too.
Parent
And
in the
then
lobby to see you,
and then I
Joshua's
had pushed him
father.
off. Like you know when somebody's like pushing on you and then you just push them off and say, bro, get out of my way, dude. I did that. And then he saw it.
Sure will.
And it's let's see, it's a $21 book. So you need to look for it.
His name is Jimmy.
How's it going?
All right, and you?
Good.
Great.
Josh, have a seat, hon.
Sit on this. Thank you.
How's it going?
All right. So I'm here because you called this morning. I guess it was
Actually, I
you.
didn't. It
Or
was
it was you.
but I was
That you
present
called this morning.
with Josh. Josh was there too.
No. No, I'm talking about this morning
Spoke
about
to your wife.
that you spoke with my wife and you said
That was
Yes,
Miss Ann.
that was-
something about him horse playing in the
All right, let's
in the
play it.
basketball court?
All right, what ended up happening is, whenever they get off the bus, they get the
Okay,
opportunity-
can I stop there for a minute because I know that you have your perception of what happened.
Well, I just
Now-
want to share with
No,
you.
I understand that, but
Let-
you're trying to share your
Right.
perception.
Okay.
Now why don't we just step back a little bit and find out what really happened. Like I asked my son, see, like I told you over the phone, if I talked to you before, and I told you, I want to hear it from my son before you or anybody else tells me anything. And I asked my son. So my son tells me he was playing basketball with this kid and he beat him in basketball and the guy started talking nasty to him, pushing him. And when he finally had enough and went to push the guy back, that's when the coach seen them. And then you called and said they were rough horse playing. Now,
It's at the courtyard.
this kid went after my son because he was angry that he lost a basketball game. Instead of investigating that, you put in that they were horse playing, and then you're going to give him work detail because of that? Because he tried to protect himself from a kid that tried to come at him aggressively? Is that what you're telling me? Because I asked my son, and he's right here. Did you get a chance to ask my son the same thing?
Josh, did we ask you questions this morning?
Yeah, you asked me a question.
Did we ask questions to the other young man?
Yes, sir.
Did I ask you guys if we wanted to try to solve this problem on campus today?
Yes, sir.
Did I say anything about horseplay?
Horseplay.
Did I say
push-
negative interaction between peers?
Yes.
Because in your
That's what was
statement,
written on the work detail.
in your
It's
statement,
written on the work
written.
detail. So if you did not state that, then why has he got a work detail?
the work
If
detail
he
is
was being
student-
pushed by another
student
student.
is guilty of having a
Okay,
negative
now you're
interaction.
telling me that you just convicted my son without finding out the truth. You just go ahead and convict him and said, well, you know
Josh,
what?
did you
You're going to
touch
do
that
this.
young man?
Did he what?
Did you touch that young man, Josh?
In defense, yes.
Okay.
In defense, yes.
Both
Did you hear
boys
that?
touched
No, no,
each
no, no,
other.
no, no, no.
Both
No, no, no,
boys
no.
touched
Listen,
each
listen,
other.
listen here. I don't understand how it is when a kid tries to defend himself against another kid that's trying to bully him, and he winds up being in trouble for that. You know, that is not
Is he
acceptable.
being suspended?
No, he's being given a work detail.
Because he-
No, 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 no. This is telling him. This is telling him,
Sir,
sir. I'm sorry.
Sir.
I'm a little bit aggravated, but you know what? Let me just.
Sergeant
I'm gonna
Gillette,
bring
can
it
you come to
down.
my office real quick.
Excuse me. What
Just
you
gonna
do?
Bring the school resource officer in here.
Okay,
so that-
and that's
that
for
way
what? Are
she
you
can-
threatening me?
No,
Are you saying?
I just want to make sure.
Okay.
That
Okay.
we're
Now,
trying to explain the
no,
situation.
no, no, no. You're not trying to explain something to me. You're trying to tell me what you
Mr. Knapp, I'm
of
trying
what
to
you know.
help
What?
you out.
If I cannot resolve this, I will go to the school board if I have to.
Well, remember,
I'm
you're
gonna-
at a charter school.
Oh, so what is that? Or you're trying to tell me that you're threatening me because this is a charter school? Now listen, this is still a public school. It's
Correct.
still run by the school
Correct.
board.
Correct.
Now do not tell me that this is a charter school and that my son
I
is
just
being
want
blessed to
to-
be here or he can get kicked out. Now that's a threat to me. I feel threatened now because you're saying that. You're telling me that you're going to kick my son out of a school because it's a charter school and I'm bringing in
Nobody's
complaints?
Nobody's trying to kick anybody out of
Then
school.
what are you trying to say? Then why are you trying to intimidate me by telling me
Sir,
that this is a charter
I'm
school?
not. I'm trying to answer a question, but every time I go to answer the
Again.
question, every time I go to answer the question,
Uh-huh.
you are wanting to not listen.
No, 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 sir. See, that's
This
the
is
problem.
exactly what I tried to explain to you
excuse
on
me.
the.
Excuse me. See, again, you're saying something that's not
Please let me
happening.
know when it's my turn.
Like I said, you're telling me
Right.
your perception of what happened. As soon as I asked about what happened with my son this morning, you came out and said, well, this is what happened. They got out the bus. No, no, no. See, this is what you're telling me. Now, I asked my son, and he told me he was playing a basketball game with the kid. He beat the kid in a basketball game. The kid got angry and started talking bad to my son and pushing my son. When my son got fed up of being pushed around and he pushed him back, that's when the coach came in, did not ask
The
what
coach
happened.
The coach didn't get involved because they didn't include the coach. They walked by 3 adults.
Okay, so,
And all the way, can I speak?
yes, go ahead.
From the courts. As the boys were explaining, as soon as the game ended, the game should have been ended.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Nobody won, nobody lost. They carried on a conversation from the courts all the way to the courtyard, bypassing all these teachers. But they must have been containing this situation as they're bypassing teachers and administrators.
So no
When
teachers.
Sergeant Gillette saw the boys get into a little issue this morning, a pushing issue, because Josh is stepping
So,
in.
excuse me, officer, can I really quick stop you? You saw the actual engagement.
No, I did not.
Okay, so you just told me a lie right now. You just said it, and
I don't know if Abada told you that.
you see what I'm saying?
Somebody
Hold
told.
on,
but-
hold on.
but
No, no, no,
again,
man. You got to understand my point of view.
Yes,
okay,
yeah.
because I'm getting lies here from this man,
Okay,
and
okay.
he's over here telling me now they're giving him a work detail for trying to protect himself from a guy that tried to come at him aggressively. Okay? And then you're going to sit here and lie to me in front of an officer and tell me that the officer saw all this when she didn't?
Okay, what I saw, can I tell you what I saw?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, when the bell rang and they were supposed to be going to the class, I saw a group of boys gathering. I'm walking towards it to see what's going on because sometimes they gather and walk to class together. So before I just want to start, getting on to them, I want to see what was going on. At that time, that's when I saw them in each other's face. I'm like nose to nose. I got between them and told them to stop.
Okay.
That's what I saw. And
Okay.
Mr. Fabada came.
Did you bother to ask what was going on? Did you pull any of the boys to the
I
side?
separated them, and when the
But you did not
administrators,
ask?
listen to me, when the administrator, Mr. Fabada, came up, because at that time, I did not see nobody hit each other. It's a school discipline issue. I don't get involved
You
in
don't get
school
involved?
discipline.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I turned it over to Mr. Fabada, and at that time, they were separated and escorted to the office. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I mean, yes, ma'am.
And Josh has been very honest. I just want you to understand.
No,
Josh
see,
has been very honest.
listen,
in regards to
I am
his
so
part of
sorry.
this
I am
case.
so sorry that you don't like me because of
think
what
it has
how
anything to do
how
with it
I
because-
come out and tell you the
but-
truth.
but Mr.
No,
Whitehead-
Mister,
Right.
whatever your last
Mr.
name
Whitehead.
is, Mr. Whitehead.
Whitehead.
I'm here as a concerned parent of how you're treating my son unfairly.
Well, I'm sorry. you feel
Okay,
that
now
way.
I will take this up to the school board. I will make a formal complaint.
And remember.
And go ahead. Remember what? This is a charter school.
just
Now,
want-
is that a threat? Again, is a threat.
It's not.
Telling me it's a charter school, so if I do this, I can have my son removed from the school. Well, you know what? That's okay, because I got all this recorded.
That never came.
Yes, it did. So it
you're
doesn't matter.
recording me right now, sir.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
All I'm just saying to you, as simple as what I said yesterday, we were trying to solve the problem. We were trying to solve the problem with your issue with the bus, okay? When we had that issue with the bus yesterday, we jumped on it as quickly as possible. We tried to solve the issue as quickly as
Okay,
possible.
now could I stop you for a minute? When you say you try to solve the situation quickly as possible, instead of doing that, you try to turn tables around and said it was my son's fault. When you spoke with me, you said your son has been getting out of his chair on the bus. Okay, this is exactly what you said. You said, well, I spoke to the bus driver and she said that your son has been getting up off his seat. So maybe he and the guy was playing around or something. I'm like, how can my son be playing around with a high schooler?
Josh, did you tell me you were up out of your seat?
Yes, sir. I was
How
up
many
out of my
times?
seat. Like 2 times.
How many times was the boy up out of his seat?
1 time.
So at that point, he's up out of his seat.
Okay,
bus
but-
is going down the road. For safety reasons, the driver did address the issue. For safety reasons, at that point, you approached the bus driver the next day. You gave her a note. So at that point,
see, there's
you said-
see
you
there
said-
is when you're misinterpreting
said-
everything.
okay, but
I went the
did
day. Listen, I went to
did
the day
I-
that my son
right,
got bullied. Okay,
Right.
that he told my
Right,
wife that he
right.
was being bullied by a high schooler.
Correct.
That morning, I went to take him to the bus stop.
That was after your email at 4:31 the day before.
Well, I emailed
Correct.
at 4:31
Correct.
to the principal, whoever it
And
was.
then your wife emailed Mr. Fabata.
No, she didn't email nobody because
Yeah,
it was
she
me.
did.
I emailed.
You did, and your wife emailed.
Or she did. Well, I
Because
didn't know
Mr.
about that.
Fabata
email.
got that because
Okay.
at the end of our conversation yesterday, just for clarity, I had a conversation with Mr. Fabata, and he says, "You know anything about Josh Gannett?" And I sat there and I said, "Yeah, we've been dealing with that all, kind of all morning. I'm trying to proactively get in contact with the administrative team next door so they can get in contact with the parents so that we could fix the issue."
Okay.
And so this
Has that issue been fixed? Is that kid still talking behind you and trying to pick a fight
It's
with you?
not, because I think he's sitting up front.
Right. I had told the
Correct.
bus driver, please keep
Correct.
him up front.
Correct.
See, the day that you said to me,
That was
the bus
yesterday.
driver, yesterday, that the bus driver took care of the situation. No, she didn't. I was the one that took care of it.
Did you
I'm the one
approach
that
the door?
approached
Right.
the bus driver. I gave her a note and said, ma'am, there's a bully on your bus that's messing with my son. Please keep my son close to you.
Correct.
And she says,
Did she
thank
do
you.
that?
No, she just said, where is he?
Did she know
And she
you?
looked back and she was like, I'm like, he's right there. She's like, okay, Joshua. Now, when you got back on the bus coming home, that's when she moved you close, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was for
So
my request.
Yesterday morning, when you told me you were in the 3rd or 4th seat, you weren't in the 3rd or 4th seat yesterday morning?
Yesterday morning, I was in the 3rd or 4th seat.
Okay.
The afternoon, I sat in the right behind you.
Okay.
And 34
Yeah,
seats
yeah.
right behind her.
But he was moved to the front based off of the information that was shared with the driver. So she was trying to proactively fix the problem. With Josh present, we got on the phone with Mrs. Footman. We had a conversation because I'm trying to get all parties involved to
Okay.
make sure that I've got the true, I've got the issue, not the true picture, but I've got the issue in regards to what we are trying to do to try to help you out.
Right.
Because you were upset. We wanted to assure you that we were jumping on it and fixing the issue. I stayed on the phone with you for about 15, 16 minutes.
I mean, you have to understand, you got you got high schoolers with middle schoolers on a
And
bus.
we have
That's a map for
and
disaster,
we've had
period.
that the last 4 years.
Well, that's
Because
a
of the
map for
fact is,
disaster.
It's not,
Actually, it is. You got little girls with teenage boys, hormones going off the charts with little middle school girls and kids. Come on. You don't tell me that's not a map for disaster? Really? I mean, common sense tells you as a parent that is map for disaster. You know, you got high schoolers that
You
might have a 6th grade year old girl, 7th grade year old girl that might look like she's 13 or 14, developed, and they're trying to hit on them or trying to get them to be their boyfriend or girlfriend. You know,
if that
all
was the
that
case-
goes around
And if
on
that
a
was
bus.
the case, we would be addressing the issue just like we addressed the issue yesterday.
Oh,
And
that's
if we
because
have
nobody
to
has said
remove-
anything yet,
but
right?
If we have to remove a student off a bus, we do have the right, because
Right.
it is a right to ride that bus. You're making a choice to go to the charter school as we're a conversion charter. You know, this is a choice school. You're choosing your child to come here, as well as all these.
But
other
I'm not
parents.
choosing my child to come here and get three.
Correct. And we were able
badly.
to fix that problem, I hope. And he says
Well-
we're able to fix the problem. We're going to continue to monitor that problem, and Josh is going to keep lines of communication. Did Josh tell you yesterday, as he's transitioning back from lunch, he got the attention of some adults on campus playing around? I've got kids walking
Playing
down the
around?
hallway.
Like what? Like what?
But again, I didn't address it.
I mean,
with him.
I understand that. I
didn't-
understand that. But you know what you.
I didn't
You're
address it
making
with
like
them.
little things, like
No,
little
because
bitty
I
things,
just
like
want to
major
make
big
sure-
things. You know what I'm saying? And
I
it's
just
like,
want to
wow.
make sure that you understand we got Josh's best interest in mind
Mm.
here on this campus. His good days outweigh the bad. Staff have said Josh has made some major gains.
Yes, he has. Now, when
And
I
I was
reported the
hoping-
bullying,
Right.
when I reported
Right.
the bullying,
Right.
right away things started going right bad from there on. Why is that? Tell me.
Josh,
Why
were you
is that?
actively involved in today's issue?
Was I
Were
involved?
you on the basketball courts?
Yes, sir.
Did it continue from the courts to the courtyard?
Yes, sir.
Did Sergeant Gillette, even not knowing what was going on, did she have to address an issue?
She separated us. Yes, sir.
So
Okay,
we
now
wanted-
my
we
question. Now
wanted-
my question is to you. Okay, see, you're coming out with. Did
but
they
we
address the?
wanted-
Excuse me,
we
I'm talking now.
wanted to keep it
Now this is
on
the thing.
site.
Here's
Right.
the thing.
Right.
You did not, or none of your staff, took the opportunity to pull a kid to the side and said, "What's really going on here?" Knowing that my son has issues already.
Because he-
No. This
he
is your
helped us
job.
out.
Excuse me. This is
He
your
helped us
job.
out.
Excuse me. This is your job. I'm talking. None of your staff, not even yourself, took the time to find out what was going on. Making it even harder for my son to say something, because when he does say something, y'all come down on him. Or you make him feel like it's his
Josh,
fault.
did we force you to say anything today?
Bah,
Yes
you
or no?
you tell
Did
him
we
what you
force
how you
anything
feel.
today?
I'm here. Don't worry about them. He ain't gonna intimidate you while I'm here.
Did we force you to say anything today?
No, sir.
Thank you.
I said the whole truth.
Thank
And
you.
nothing but the truth,
Nothing
right?
but the truth.
And
Okay,
that's
but like I
why-
said, did you take the time to figure out what
I
happened?
did.
And no, you did
And
not,
listen
because if
again.
you would have found out that that kid was upset that he lost the basketball game and tried to physically hurt my son. And when he tried to protect himself and push the kid back, you guys found out, and now y'all giving both of them work detail. You know what? This is saying that when you tell the truth, you're going to get in trouble. That's what you're saying to kids.
I'm glad they weren't in a physical altercation.
Yeah, me too, because then it would have been a way worse situation. Then you would have been telling me he's suspended.
That's correct.
Exactly.
And I could have told you that he was suspended today, but I chose not to. I chose to deal with it here on site.
Well, you chose the wrong
I
way
knew-
because
because I knew.
you did not take the
Josh,
opportunity to find out what's going on, sir.
Josh, did I give you the
Again, here you go.
opportunity?
Actually,
Yes
my
or no?
son, Josh, did I give you the
Because
opportunity?
he's
No, you
telling
did
you
not.
that I'm giving
He's
him
not
the-
going to tell you because he knows that if he tells you, even if he tells you, you're not going to believe him. I already know
Right
my
now-
son. My son feels this way,
Right.
and I'm telling you because he's afraid to say it, but I'm not. And I am going to say it for him. I am his voice. Okay? Now, if he's afraid to tell his teachers or the principal or staff what's going on because he feels like he's going to get in trouble, well, you know what? You're going to have me in this office all the time
Did you
talking
put your
about
hands on
him.
somebody, yes or no?
Self-defense, yes,
Thank you.
sir.
He
Okay.
put his hands on
Hey,
somebody.
what did he
So
just
at
say?
that point-
Self-defense. Self-defense. Are you telling me that right now, say,
And that's
ma'am,
why
we
they
hold
weren't-
the law in Florida for self-defense. Stand your ground. Now, you tell me if my son would have stood his ground that he was wrong, the courts will decide that, not you.
Josh.
How are you going to decide if he's guilty or innocent? Tell me that.
Did we talk about personal space this morning?
Yes, you talked
you
about
get in
that.
that boy's
Again, the
personal
man
space?
was in his personal space.
Did
Now,
you
how
get in that
much,
boy's
listen,
personal
excuse
space?
me, how
Did you
much
get in that boy's
of a
personal
man's
space?
personal
Because
space
thank
can
you.
you get before you
He just
retaliate?
answered your question.
I
He
asked
was
you
in
a
his
question.
personal space.
I asked you a question. How
And
much time do
we
you
gave-
spend in front of somebody's personal space before you
We gave
retaliate?
them examples and we sat there.
Again, he doesn't want to listen. Again, you not wanting to listen to what I'm saying and my concerns. Again. Again, you're saying what you want to say, but you know what? That's fine.
The issue is.
This
you got
here,
something
I'm gonna let him go through this, but I will
I appreciate
talk to the
it.
school board. Yeah, I will. You know, and I will put in a complaint about you and how you acted and how you're handling this situation here. Because the way you're handling it, you shouldn't be sitting in that chair right now. I'm gonna tell you that. And I'm gonna make sure the school board knows about that. Okay?
Ms. Henry, you have anything to share with Ed? Because I know you were present at the interview. I do want to say, on record, Josh was forthcoming in regards to his behavior and his
Of course,
choices.
because he's not
Josh
lying. He's not a liar.
Shared the part that he played.
Yeah, he didn't play no part. He played the part of self-defense, of helping himself.
He did have to separate. There was something that was
He
brewing
was
between the two boys.
self-defense. It was self-defense, period.
any
I don't care
time,
what you say.
at any-
And you know what? Let me ask you a question. If your son, somebody comes up to your son to try to hit him or something, and your son pushes him back, is he wrong for that? No, you're a man. I'm a man. You're a father. I'm a father. Would he be wrong for that? Exactly. You
Based-
cannot answer it.
No,
You cannot answer it because you know the truth. You know the truth, sir.
Physically touch each other today.
The man
and
physically touched
fight.
him, so he had to
And he
touch
touched
him
the
back.
boy.
He touched
Both
him first.
Boys touched each other.
He touched him first.
And at any time,
He touched him first. Self-defense.
Josh,
If you don't like that,
on the courts this morning, how many adults were out there?
2.
Two.
and if the adults were there and they
If
saw all this,
you-
why didn't they separate them from the beginning?
Can I finish what I'm saying?
No, because you're trying to put this back on my son.
No, because
And that's
you
not
have-
how it's going to happen.
if that
I'm
was
sorry,
the
that's
case,
not how it's going to
I
happen.
apologize.
You have so many staffers out there. Like the officer said, you said yourself, they walked past so many staffers that heard all this commotion, and they could have easily came out and said, you know what, let me talk to you, sir. Let me see what's going on. But no, they intended, turned their back.